Once in Romania, but I did just get back. You gotta go both ways there. I did just get back from an extended stay in America. And you're looking at a miracle, folks. 4.5 months in America, no gunshot wounds. I'm so psyched about that. And my house didn't get burned down or flooded out either, so I'm a happy guy. But I'm also happy to be back here because it's political season now in the USA. And I happen to be from New Hampshire, which has the first primary in the United States, which means every presidential wannabe jerk-off on the planet will be in my state for the next 6 months, taking up all the best seats in the restaurants. Totally sucks. It really does. What sucks worse, though, with the politicians, come the protests. And protests in America are off the charts, okay? In America, 1,000 people show up to protest something, and then 1,000 people show up to protest the protesters, and then 1,000 policemen show up to try to keep order, and that breaks down immediately. There's tear gas, there's rubber bullets, there's broken windows, there's rioting, there are people like dying in the street. It's unbelievable. I personally prefer Czech protests much better. Because like a lot of other things, Czech protests are based on that principle that Czechs all love. Oh yeah. Okay? A couple of years back, I went to a protest up on the Letna Plain, the one against Babiš. Okay? 250,000 some odd people? Are you kidding me? And Czechs show up with their blankets and their picnic baskets and their kids and their dogs, and they have signs that, signs that say something like, I'm mildly pissed off about something. Babiš is not really a nice guy. Okay? 250,000 people, 250,000 people, right? Maybe 100 police officers. And you know what their job was? The porta potties are over there, over there, over there, and near the tram stop. And that was all there was to it. So, for me, a protest with the Czechs, much easier. Not as big a pain in the ass. And speaking of pain in the ass, nice segue, I was actually in the States a lot longer than I expected to because my little brother, his name is Andy, he's 10 years younger than I am, almost to the day. Push him out, Mom, push him out! She missed it by 2 days, but my little brother Andy, he was having a medical thing going on. He was having some trouble with, his back door, if you know what I mean. And so I went back there to see what was going on, and he was going to get the colonoscopy. Anybody ever here have a colonoscopy? Anybody? You can tell me, it's okay. Really? Nobody here? You're all too young, right? Jed, okay. Well, everybody here know what a colonoscopy is? Yeah. Okay. Well, in the United States, they knock you out for those things. Here, they give you a choice. You can either get knocked out or you can watch the movie. Me? I like to watch the movie. I like to watch that little guy crawling up through there, squirting water on the stuff that you missed with the medication they gave you beforehand, and zooming in to look at polyps just to see if they're dangerous or not, you know? And so I'd had one at the beginning of the year, and everything turned out fine. So I asked to have another one because why not? And so then I'm back in America, and my brother gets one, and everything did not turn out fine for him. Didn't turn out fine at all. And so they scheduled him for an operation on his colon. I decided to stay. My brother had his operation, and I gotta tell you something about my little brother. Everybody loves this kid, and he's funny as all get out, and all of his friends are funny. And so, the day after his operation, suddenly all of us are in his hospital room, and there are like 30 of us, and the nurses are like, this is what, get out of here, we're fine. So his brother-in-law is there, and his father-in-law is there, and all the people that work for him are there, and all of his friends are there, and I'm there, and everybody's kind of busting him a little bit, and they brought Joe gifts. Somebody brought like a little stuffed gerbil with a sign on it that said homeless. And another guy brought like a temporary tattoo that said closed for repairs. And I brought him one of those giant industrial rolls of toilet paper that you see in commercial restrooms, and it just said will work for food. And so we're all laughing, we're busting. He's kind of, a little bit under, but he's enjoying the whole thing. And then one of his friends walks up to him, and we could all hear it. I don't think he knew that we could hear it. But he walks up to my little brother and he says, "Hey, Andy, I'm not quite sure I understand. Did they remove your asshole?" He didn't even pause. He pointed at me and he said, "Not till he goes back to Prague."